Disclaimer. We are interested in everything and experts in nothing. We enjoy learning, but get it wrong sometimes. We mean no disrespect, and if we mess up, kindly correct us. Let's take this ride together, unless your intention is to cause harm or distress, in which case, with utmost haste, fuck right off.
So,
This week is yours.
It's mine. I have quite a lot to cover, and it's gonna be fun.
Okay.
And I've already warned Tyler that he's gonna need to leave time for updating, because I have 7 pages, 3 YouTube links, plus a separate link that is just gonna be like, and for more information, watch these interviews, because it was like 8.
Oh my God.
On that one page. So, we're going to talk about Ann Lister. So,
I feel like I should know that name, but
we're going to get into it.
Okay.
So, Ann Lister was born in 1791.
Okay, so we're going back a bit.
We're going back a bit. I start right off the bat with a profile portrait painting of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks really bored. I bet you get really bored when somebody's painting your portrait.
Right? What are you going to do? You can't move.
You can't move.
Yeah. Her family owned Shibden Hall in Halifax, West Yorkshire, England.
Okay.
Brief aside, apparently, per annlister.co.uk.
UK.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
West Yorkshire was the setting of Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, and The Secret Garden.
Oh, all right.
So, mental image.
2 of the 3, because I started Wuthering Heights and I could not stand either of them, and it was not going to get better, so I said, fuck you, and I put them there in their timeout shelf.
Timeout shelf?
Yes.
Heathcliff and who? What was the girl's name?
Why can't I think of her name now? It was just in my head.
I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, well, whatever.
No, I gotta look it up, because it's going to kill me.
I don't want to kill you.
It's not Catherine.
Is it? It might be Catherine.
Hold on.
It might be Catherine and Heathcliff.
It was Catherine.
Okay. Yeah, Catherine.
Yeah.
See, it sounded right when you said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't get better. They're awful to each other. And I just, no. I'm like, okay, seriously, the Bronte sisters needed some, therapy immediately. But I cannot stand that book.
Yeah. So, anyway, but nice mental picture. That
lovely,
is where we are.
Picturesque area.
Yeah. So, Anne was a unique woman, particularly for her times. She was known, for instance, for always wearing black.
Okay, I was going to say, what did she wear? Pants? But no, black. Okay, so she was in mourning for something.
Life, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
She valued education and
good.
Pushed back against sexism in her daily encounters.
Hey, well, good for her.
Yes. In a conversation with a male business rival, she said, "It is the intellectual part of us that makes a bargain, and that has no sex, or ought to have none."
That's fair.
Yep. She was also fond of traveling.
Okay.
And even climbed Mount Perdu, a.k.a. Monte Perdido in Spain.
Oh.
In 1830.
Okay, good for her.
And this is a French name. Mount Vignamale? That can't possibly be all... There's so many letters,
I don't know.
They can't say all of them as French. Some of them have to be silent.
Some of them have to be silent. Half of them are probably silent.
Yeah, but technically that is in both France and Spain.
Okay, so bordering. All right, cool.
In 1838, she climbed that one.
Good for her.
So pushing back on the norms of the time, Anne traveled independently without a male chaperone.
Without a chaperone. Here we go.
Yes. So in 1826, Anne took over management of the Shibden estate after her uncle's death.
Okay.
She used her education in math, engineering, and geology to help her entrepreneurial efforts to improve her estate and maximize income.
Good.
I don't know why I wrote that so hard to read.
I did.
I gave myself a challenge.
Really big words strung together.
My tongue really had to push through.
Her brain learning did good for the money.
Exactly. That would have been easier. But no. Yep. Oh, I could have been nice to myself. But instead, I wrote that. Okay. Anyway, she leased plots of her lands to farmers as a means of income.
Okay.
She also sold some of the natural resources on the property, including coal and timber.
Both important things.
Yes. In 1836, her aunt and her father both passed away, and she officially inherited the Shibden Hall properties.
Okay.
Later, she even turned one of her properties into a casino.
I love this lady.
Yeah. Also, at some point, she, rather than selling the coal, put mines on her property and did it her damn self.
Hell yes.
So, like, she used to give people the right to come in and mine it.
Now she's got her own mining operation.
Yeah.
Hell yes, bitch.
And here's a picture of Shibden Hall.
Oh, that's pretty.
Right?
There's a lot of lines.
There are so many lines.
There's a lot of lines. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So, Anne was an avid journaler.
Okay.
Beginning at age 15. All told, she wrote 26 volumes, which totaled 7,722 pages and approximately 5 million words.
Please, God, let some of them be fan fiction.
I was watching one of the videos where they said 2 million words, so I don't know if people just estimate differently or if whatever. I'm not sure why.
They cut out the fan fiction part. They're like, there's this whole section about werewolves and vampires and we don't understand it. So just leave those 3,000 words out.
Interestingly, she wrote most of the diaries in code, something she called crypthand.
Okay. Which
included Greek letters, numbers, and some letters of her own invention.
Okay, what is with this bitch? Like, did she come from an alternate universe? I mean, I love her, but I've got questions.
Yeah. So here's an excerpt from one of her journals. You can see the crypthand.
Dear God.
Right? It's so fancy.
At what point did she just stop and go, you know what? I don't feel like doing this. Today sucked. I had a grilled cheese. I'm going to bed.
So, per the Calderail Museum's website,
okay,
in addition to her diaries, Anne also left behind 14 volumes of travel notes. The volumes of travel notes cover her overseas trips and travel within the United Kingdom to the Lake District, Scotland, and North Wales, including a trip to the newly opened railway from Manchester to Liverpool in 1831.
It's not in code, is it?
No, not the travel. No, the travel journals are not.
Okay.
She also traveled to Paris, Switzerland, Belgium, the Netherlands, France, and Holland, among others.
Dude, I love this woman!
Woman went everywhere. Okay, so back to the journals, because they are a story in and of themselves.
Fan fiction! I knew it!
In 1887, long after Anne's death,
okay,
John Lister, the last member of the Lister family to live in the Shibden Estates, wanted to publish excerpts from the journals in the local paper.
Except for they're in code.
I don't know why he had this urge,
okay,
but he did.
All right.
So he looked to his friend Arthur Burrell to help decipher the crypthand.
This is going to get weird. I just feel like this is going to get weird.
However, upon cracking the code, Arthur Burrell advised his friend to burn the journals.
Fan fiction! I said it!
Lister abandoned the plan to translate and publish the journals and hid them away where he believed they would remain undiscovered for a time.
Okay, I was going to say, dude, you didn't burn them. Somebody's going to fucking find them.
So, why?
Fan fiction!
Well, Arthur Burrell provides the answer. The contents of this cipher is an intimate account of homosexual practices among Miss Lister and her many friends. Hardly any one of them escaped her.
Hell yes, bitch!
It is now believed that John Lister was so concerned about the contents of the journal, aside from scandal, because he himself was a homosexual, and he did not want to draw attention to this fact, as homosexual acts were illegal during the time. So.
Hell yes, bitch. Putting your exploits in code, but being like, I fucked her, and I fucked her,
yes!
and I fucked her twice, and I fucked her and her at the same time, and it was awesome.
So, in 1934, Shibden Hall was being converted into a museum. Which
they're going to find the journals.
I found out later that's what the Calderdale Museum is.
Oh, is Shibden Hall. Okay.
They own it, at least. They might have other properties. But
all right.
Anyway, so it was being converted into a museum, and the journals were found. The Halifax town clerk
Okay.
It said toe, and I'm like, what the hell was I
What is a
trying to
town
say?
clerk?
Town clerk reached out to Arthur Burrell for help in translating the journals.
Did he say no?
No. Burrell did not wish to participate in unearthing a scandal, but also felt that withholding the key to the cipher was wrong because someone should be, as he put it, armed with the knowledge of what the cipher contains. So he did provide the code. The Halifax librarian, Edward Green, locked up the code. They just locked it up and didn't use it. But they had it, but they didn't use it.
All right.
In 1958, Dr. Phyllis Ramsden and her friend Vivian Ingham began to work on the journals together. They decided to write about her travels and omitted anything regarding to Anne's sexuality.
Not shocking.
Ramsden stated that the journals were excruciatingly tedious to the modern mind and of no historical interest whatsoever.
Are you kidding me? This is
Don't look over here.
This
Nothing
is lesbian
to see
porn
here.
from the 1800s, and that's not fucking... All right, go on.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing
Move
to
along.
see here other than bodice ripping and petticoat ruffling.
So, then in 1967, homosexual activity was legalized so long as it was conducted in private and between consenting adults with the Sexual Offenses Act, which that sounds like the opposite. But okay,
all right.
I feel like you could have come up with a better name.
Right? Yeah.
But fine. So this shifted public perception of homosexuality and increased tolerance and acceptance over time. In the 1980s, Helena Whitbread, while searching for a research topic, became fascinated with the way Anne wrote her letters. Her writing was small and crisscrossed as she utilized all the available space on the page.
Okay.
The archivist she was working with suggested she look at Anne's journals. Basically, well, if you think those are cool, wait till you get a load of this.
Go over here, but wash your hands first and after. Just saying.
So when she saw the crypt hand, there was no going back. She proceeded to decipher the journals and published them in 1988 as The Secret Diaries of Miss Anne Lister, I Know My Own Heart.
Okay.
This book right here that I've been reading.
Right
there. Yeah. Anne is now known as the first modern lesbian.
Hell yes, bitch.
So, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Thanks to the translation of the journals, we now know about her relationships with other women during her life. The following list and descriptions come from annelister.co.uk.
She has her own website. Like her little black book has been published for the ages. I love it.
Yes. So, I believe moving forward until I say otherwise, these are all direct quotes.
Okay.
So, first was Eliza Rain.
Okay. I like that name.
Yeah.
Pretty name.
At boarding school at age 15, Anne met her first love, Eliza Rain.
Okay, yeah.
They shared an attic bedroom called The Slope, which made the union an easy one.
Yes, I imagine it would.
Anne eagerly stepped into her lesbian sexuality. It was at this time that she began keeping diaries.
Okay, right. She started at 15.
Yep. When Anne began affairs with other women, Eliza went mad, from which she never recovered.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, right? That's tough.
That is rough.
So, this is a letter from Anne to Eliza, February 21st, 1808.
Sorry, I fucked around on you.
You know, it actually is legible if you wanted to take the time, but I'm not going to right now.
That's fine.
You can read it on the website. And then this is a letter back. Not directly, but from Eliza to Anne, but this was October 10th, 1814.
Okay, so
it's not a direct response.
Okay. Either that or it was really, really hard to send letters back then.
So, next came Isabella Tibb Norcliffe.
Okay.
Isabella Norcliffe became friends with Anne in 1810. They remained friends and occasional lovers throughout the remainder of Anne's life.
Oh, all right.
Anne's rejection of her as a life partner was a bitter blow to Isabella, who remained single all her life.
Oh, she was waiting for... Oh, that's sad.
Anne disapproved of Isabella's drinking.
Oh, all right. Fair.
As Isabella would come to very much regret, she introduced Anne to Mariana Belcombe, who would become lifelong lovers with Anne and the love of Anne's life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Mariana Lawton, aka Belcombe.
Mm-hmm.
When she was 23, Anne met Mariana Belcombe, known as M in her diaries.
All right.
Mariana and Anne began a passionate affair which continued during Mariana's marriage for money to Charles Lawton.
Okay.
Anne was heartbroken at Mariana's infidelity. There's a little bit of irony there.
Okay, go on.
Go ahead. You can laugh at the irony.
All right.
Aside from jealousy, Mariana's marriage had other consequences for Anne.
Babies.
In 1820, Charles contracted a venereal disease.
Oh, shit.
Apparently from a servant, and Anne caught the incurable venereal taint from Mariana, with which she remained infected all her life.
That sucks. I bet it was herpes.
Well, was anything really curable back then, though?
Yeah, I know, but...
Because it was pre-antibiotics.
I know pre-antibiotics, but a lot of the things that were incurable will also kill you. So, like, syphilis just doesn't hang around and do nothing.
True.
So, I don't know. My guess is that it was one of those chronic, but not life-threatening.
Yeah. I don't know which one it is.
That's fair. I was just guessing. Doesn't matter.
Sure. We can't prove it either way.
We can't prove it either way.
So after that, Maria Barlow.
Mm-hmm.
So Anne met Maria Barlow, a widow, during her stay in Paris from 1824 to 1826. Anne succeeded in winning Maria's affections, but her social standing and financial worth did not meet Anne's aspirations.
Oh, gold digger. Really? She has an estate and coal mines?
But we're in 1824 to 1826. She didn't start running the estate till 1826.
All right.
This is before she had her own means.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. Anne continued her affair with the love of her life, Mariana Lawton, during her relationship with Maria, while at the same time seeking a suitable life partner who would allow her to climb the social ranks.
Okay.
Girl was everywhere.
Girl was, man. Ain't nobody holding her down.
Right? She refuses to be held back, which, I mean, props, though.
Props to that.
So finally, Anne Walker.
Okay.
So Anne finally partnered with a woman who met her social aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Walker was a shy, wealthy young woman from Norcliff who came to live at Shibden in 1834.
Okay.
Anne Walker had the social standing that Anne craved. They're both Annes. It's confusing.
Right.
In line with Anne Lister's disregard for socially acceptable relationships, she succeeded in marrying Anne Walker in the form of a church blessing, though the union was not a happy one.
Oh, that sucks.
It does suck, right? They traveled widely together, including a trip to Russia, which ended in Anne Lister's untimely death in 1840. Yes. On this trip,
in Russia, did she push her off a cliff or something?
No, Lister caught a virus, possibly from a bug bite, and died. So she was 49.
Okay.
Her body was transported back to Halifax to be buried. So that sucks.
That does suck.
But, I mean, they exchanged vows and committed to each other in this little private ceremony. I know. I wish it was happy, but it wasn't. So that sucks.
That sucks.
Anne's story is being brought to life in modern culture with the show GentlemanJack.
GentlemanJack! I fucking knew it.
On BBC One and HBO.
Yes.
Yeah, which the show is so freaking good.
Yes.
I love it, and I also deeply enjoy the soundtrack. Cannot recommend enough. I've used the word jaunty so many times since I started watching this show. And it's 100% because, like, the captions... It always says jaunty music. And I'm like,
jaunty?
It is jaunty. Anyway.
I'm going to use that adjective more often.
So this is Saran, I think is her name. Saran Jones as Anne Lister. Yep.
Is it actually, are they actually saying Anne Lister?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's Anne Lister's, yes. 100%. Yes, it's so good. It's so good. So that pretty much wraps it up. But I've got YouTube links of Helena Whitbread, so the one who translated and edited
published
and published the journals.
Okay.
I've got videos of her speaking at the Ann Lister plaque unveiling, because she has her own plaque now.
Mm-hmm.
Telling the story of Anne in her own words. I have a picture of John Lister.
So this is the descendant that found them and went, oh wait, I shouldn't publish this shit.
Right, because then people might think I'm also gay.
Right.
Which he was,
but back then it wasn't.
It was dangerous.
It was dangerous, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I'll also have a link, so many more interviews with Helena Whitbread talking about Anne at length. So, there you go. That's it.
I love it. It's GentlemanJack.
It's GentlemanJack. So Jack and Jill were like generic names for a boy and a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Jack was also slang for a lesbian.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know they used to also be called that there was a sister. Like, is she a sister? But that was more modern.
Okay.
All right. Well, good for her.
Also, I cannot speak entirely to how accurate the show is to her life.
Right. I'm sure it's
But once I started reading her journals, I recognized a passage that they had delivered as a line. So they took her own words and delivered them.
Yes.
Yeah. So props for that too.
Yes.
So anyway.
Now watch. The show was actually like dumbed down a little bit because they're like, even though we're HBO, we can't put this on TV.
I mean, in terms of HBO, the sex scenes have been very mild. So there's something to be.
All right. Fair.
But yeah.
I'm just saying I would love if her life was like so much more salacious that even the HBO executives had to be like, we need to dial this back a shade.
Maybe. They're like, look.
Like, I appreciate...
We want you to root for her, but we feel like you won't if you know that she's hooking up with 4 women at one time.
Yes. Sometimes in the same room. And then there was that elephant. We don't honestly know how that worked. We don't want it. We can't show that.
Where are you going?
I'm just saying, if her life was so fucking salacious that they had to dial it back, I'm just imagining this circus show of... Oh, she probably was amazing. I would have loved to have a conversation with her.
Yeah. It's so good. So when I finish this, because I've been setting aside time every night. I read 10 to 15 pages every night, however long it takes. When I finish it, you can borrow it.
Absolutely.
But I had no idea. This was published in 88 for crying out loud. This has been around forever.
That's been around forever, and
how did we not know?
It. I don't know.
I don't know. Thank you, GentlemanJack, I guess.
Thank you, GentlemanJack.
Okay. So that's it. That's all I have this week.
All right.
If you enjoyed the podcast, give us a like, share, subscribe on any platform. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Our Trivial Obsessions. We're on Twitter at Our Trivial Pod. We have a website, www.ourtrivialobsessions.com. That's where you're going to find our episodes, extras, and bonus materials. There will be a ton this week. And the website updater has been
warned.
So hopefully he leaves enough time to get it done for you.
Yes.
And you can email us. We are at randomqueensobsess@gmail.com. Random.
Because we are.
Queens.
Because we are.
Obsessed. Because we do. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.